Hello. Hi, Mr. Pinkle. Thank you for being here. All right, I'm only going to give it a little bit. I know it's very late in my time zone here, so I don't want to wait too long. I'm very excited to get started. Hi, Sean. Hello. I don't want to wait too long here. I want to get started right away just because I'm already kind of like later, much later than I'd like to begin. But nonetheless, we are going to really get down to it, cover some interesting topics that I think that might be of interest for many people. And even if they're not able to join the live at this moment, I believe that there's always so much value add and insight that can be gained when rewatching this at a later state or later time. And so thank you guys for being here during the actual live stream. So whether you're watching it live or rewatching it later, there's so much. It's like full of like depth and insight and value and divine messages. I think all of the live streams have so much in it, especially in the very like first half. When we talk about the categories, and then of course when we get into the readings themselves, I feel like people can still learn from other people's questions and responses. So I feel the whole thing is so valuable, but I'll let that be with you guys. Hello everyone, Mr. Pinkle, Sean, hi, Maria N, hello. Hi Gojo, hi. Samprika, hello again. Hi, Amy. So happy again that you're here. Mr. Pinkle, so wonderful. How do I do it? Yeah. I am a night owl by nature. Awesome. Okay. Awesome. All right. So we won't do too much chit on the front end. That way we can get right into some topics and categories. I want it to be very interactive tonight. And then if we want to do some readings, we can do some readings. We won't put them off too long. We're getting a late start, so I don't want everyone to feel like they have to like stay the whole time. I'm respectful of the current time. I'm in Central Time Zone, so I know what time it is here. So we'll like just wait maybe a minute maximum, and then we're gonna get right into the topics, okay? But thank you everyone for being here. Thank you. Yay. All right, so I'm gonna give 1 minute and we're gonna get right into the topics. All right. My drink, that way you don't go too thirsty here. We are looking good. Looking fabulosa. But I'm excited. That's the best part, guys. I'm so excited. I'm probably always excited, but I'm very excited. All right. Awesome. Okay. All right. All right. Awesome, guys. All right. Encourages a value that we hold. This is one guarantee, and that is. All right. I think also getting your ass kicked at their parents. Worst, if he fails very greatly. Got it. All right, guys. So excited. All right. I may dim the lights because I get really hot. So there's a delay on my phone here. Again, I use this to like work from here. Okay. Let's make sure we can see like this maybe. We need these lights on behind me. Let's see if we can work without them. Okay. If not, I'll turn back on. But let's see how dark this is. All right. Oh, that's a little too. Okay. Closer. Oh. All right. So, like I said, tonight, is it too dark or is it all right, guys? Can you guys let me know that first? That way, at least. Yeah, let me know if you guys are okay with this. Let me bring it close. Let me bring this a little bit closer, though, too. All right. So, I am excited about the topics we're going to cover, and I'm not going to spend too much time on any kind of intro. I'm going to get right to it. That way, we don't expend so much time. Okay, I think that's decent. Can you guys see me? I mean, is it clear enough? Are we good? Thank you. Yeah. I do prefer recording videos in the daytime just because you have natural lighting. You don't have to worry with it's just harder at night. And when I do usually do my videos, I do not use my computer from the webcam. I usually use a DSLR, but we're going to work with this until I have some time to devote to figuring out how I can enhance the pixelation. So, all right. Thank you guys for being here. As you can see from the topic or the title of the video, I did title it Paranormal because I think that's important that we do talk about that subject matter and bring some light there. And what is Sean saying here? Oh, you know what? Let me use my phone to look at this. Sorry. That one not adjusting this too much, guys. Yeah, if people want to go on to the reading part, we can just do 10 for the first round, and then we'll decide if we have a second round. So let's not commit to a second round, given the time we're starting. I don't want, people to spend so much time. I don't know if we'll do a second round, just given what time we're starting at, okay? But for now, we'll do one round, 10 people, and we'll start with that until we decide to change it up. But I think that's going to be appropriate, okay? Thanks. Awesome. Am I lagging? Mr. Pinkle says that we're lagging. Okay. Okay, let me go into my notes that I have here set up already for us. All right. Okay. Hold on. And in case anyone's wondering, when I'm looking down or pausing, it's just part of the way I just ground my energy. So in case anyone's wondering out there what I'm doing when I'm silent, okay? Right. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm making sure I'm also keeping up with the chat too. I try to do both, so I apologize if I'm not participating at this very moment in the chat, but I want to also focus so that we all get insightful information too. Okay. I'm gonna just. My throat is very dry. I don't know why it's so dry out here. Usually in the like where I'm at, it should not be dry, but it's usually more humid. But lately, like my sinus and allergies have been on the drier side, like my nasal passage. I use Q-tips. This is very embarrassing, but I use Q-tips with a little bit of lotion to help like add moisturizer to like my nose, which is like weird, but that's what I've been doing, guys. Okay. So, but my eyes have been dry, my throat extra dry, my skin extra dry. I don't know, but that's what I'm working with. Nothing too bad. That's doable. There are so many other things that can be affecting us. So I'm very blessed, very happy, and very wonderful. All right. So just bear with me with my dry throat, okay? I have my drink here. That way I stay hydrated. I have also my water bottle. No sweet tea. Not tonight. But I do like a lot of, they call it seltzer water, or I'm not sure what the name of it is called, but it is in a can, but it's like a water, a carbonated like lime water. They have different flavors, but I like the lime one. Are you guys familiar with that kind of like water? I like it though. I don't like plain seltzer water, but I like the carbonated, like, you know how when you have soda or something has that carbonation, and like the seltzer water has that carbonated effect in the can, but I have to have some flavor in it, and they sell like different flavors, like lime, like grapefruit, peach. So, all right. If you hear me open up cans, that's what I'm doing. All right. All right. Just drink water, and then we're gonna go into some interesting topics. Okay. And the other one, that way I have them ready to go. Okay, I have them ready. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so before we go into the paranormal topic, I do want to at least start with a little bit of a subject. I don't think it's off topic. It's important, and all topics are still relevant because they all merge with us as conscious beings. And there's not really a category for this topic, but I think it's important to be a voice for this, I guess, subject matter. And I hope that I'm able to instill a level of confidence in between in people who are here, in all of you. I hope that I can instill that confidence that you already possess, okay? Everybody has it. There are moments of our life where we feel maybe less than, right? Or not as worthy, or not as deserving, or in the dumps, whatever it may be, whether it's a health challenge or a life crisis or a tragic experience, or just the very day-to-day grind that can take us and put us into ruts and in stagnation. I hope that I can instill confidence, restore confidence back within you, because oftentimes when we engage in activities or actions that are less than worthy of our attention, we lower our vibration, number one. And number two, we are really coming from a place of insecurity, okay? And I'm saying this because I know this is important for everybody, like in the world, right? And especially I want to help the people who are in our community, because I want them to be individually more confident, okay? It's not that often you hear people talking about how they can help you be more confident. They may do it in very subliminal ways or lower-handed ways, and that to me is not instilling confidence. You don't instill confidence in somebody else by stealing their confidence. You don't do that. And so I just feel really compelled to, even though this is not on topic for tonight, I do want to instill confidence in all of you. We all are confident. We forget it sometimes. We lose track. We get off track. But we are. And even if we don't have anybody in our corner or in our life to remind us, I want to be that reminder for you. I want to remind you of who you already are, who you know yourself to already be at your core level, at your deepest level. And don't ever forget that. And if you do forget that, don't beat yourself up about it. I hope that we can continue coming here as a group, as a community, because we're not going to get that anywhere else. The outside world, it's like really cutthroat. And I understand that, we're not going to debate why it is or how come it is, or that's the irrelevant debate. I mean, it's a real debate for people who want to engage there. At the end of the day, that takes you down notches, right? Like, not every fight is your fight, and not every experience is for you to participate in. And when I say participate, of course, like with your physical actions or with your attention, right? You have a choice of how you're going to engage this world, and you allow what you want into your life, and you also allow what you don't want to come into your life. You do have that power. You do have that control. We forget that we do, but we are powerful beings of this source, right? This God force energy. We do forget this, and I hope to be this reminder for everyone here tonight, and for everyone who watches this later, and just for all of us as a group. We forget this, and I really hope to be that soft reminder, okay? And of positivity, of encouragement, but the moment is of confidence, okay? If I can help you restore your own confidence, I feel that is one more step that we are on the right direction, right? So when you are more confident, in your own life, and even if it's just an ounce more, a little inch more, you know how much that takes you forward. That little inch goes so far in your life, right? Sometimes we need more than a few inches. Sometimes we need more than that, and that's fine. We are all at different places, seasons in our life. And so I just want to instill confidence. I want to remind you of your own power. Don't want anyone ever rob you of your truth, of your confidence, of your beingness. Don't want anyone ever steal your joy, your happiness. Just stay true to yourself. And if you don't see truth around you, don't panic, right? The best thing in those moments that anyone could do is to ground your energy, which the only remedy that I know of that is reflection, meditation, and being in the earth environment, like so parks, walking, nature, grass, trees, stuff like the sun, stuff like that, okay? So I just feel that it's so important to be a reminder of confidence, okay? And one step above that, or that's like parlaying on that piece that I want to touch on before we go into the paranormal topics, guys. We all have a voice. And at the time and era and age, the timeline that we're all operating within right now, we are powerful beings, and it is the time to speak our truth. Absolutely, 100%. We didn't have this experience like a few years ago. If anyone can remember, the access to this experience, okay, the access that we currently have to unlimited possibilities is vast. It's literally infinite, okay? And I want to be the reminder that we all have a voice. And we should use our voice. And if we're uncomfortable, I want us to learn to be comfortable in that process. I want us to all speak our truth from the highest frequency. And I will do my best to walk us through as a group and help everyone on an individual basis how to do that. Because that is true ascension. That is the truth. People who steal you of your power and limit you in fear, defeat, they want to rob you of your joy. They want you to engage in lower frequency experiences. They don't have your highest good at heart. They don't. So I just feel that it was important to share that, because these are things that take place every single day, and you can apply it to your own life as you see fit. So where we're at in the timeline is that we do have a voice, and we should use our voice, and we want to use it, but we also want to direct it, right, in the most beneficial way for each and every person, right? So one method is not going to be a one thing fits all people, if that makes any sense, okay? We are all so unique. We are so diverse, and that's a blessing. That's a beautiful thing, because you don't want to be like anybody else. I want you guys to be and blossom into who you were meant to be, okay? People always ask me, do I have any idols? No. Do I have people who I do admire from a distance? Like I'm referring to well-known people, that people all across the world might know. That's what I'm referring to. Yes, there are people that I believe have that vitality, that vibration that I like. They have a flavor that I can attach my energy to and take what seems fit to me from them, right? Just because you have somebody you resonate with, right? And I'm referring to a higher scale. I'm not talking about I'm just on a bigger scale, okay? And so say you have a really big prominent business leader in the world, right? Or in in your own, I know people listening from all around the world. So my analogies, I don't want to throw them out there to confuse people. But if I want to really follow some inspiration for a moment, I will listen to so-and-so, If I want some business expertise to help get me right back in the game, I'm gonna listen to so-and-so, right? If I wanna go right back into meditation and I need some grounding, I'll listen to so-and-so. You know, I'm just trying to keep it general, but also very detailed. And you fill in your own blanks, right? My point is that in the past, like, we were always told, oh, who's your role model? You know, and I never had one like that. I never resonated with that idea. And for me personally, because I thought I was more than just that. If I want to resonate with somebody and have somebody as a role model, there's not one person I can say that's going to be all encompassing, that's going to satisfy me. And I'm not saying that from ego. I'm saying it because I'm multifaceted. I have many interests. Why would I limit myself to one role model? And so it's important that we take those people who are in public positions or, you know, well-known positions, and we take what does resonate from each person, and we only take that part. You don't have to adapt all their ideologies, right? Or all their ways of doing things, but you take what does resonate with you, and that is what you need, and that's it, you know? And so I wanted to say that because the time when we're entering is a process and an experience where we are all, we all have the ability, unlimited ability, to be legitimately anything we want to be. And that piece never quite existed in the manner that it does today. It's always, I guess, existed, but in the manner that it does today, given the nature where we're at, it is so amazing, okay? And so it doesn't matter where you're at in your life. It doesn't matter if you feel your life is near the end or if you're just beginning. There's no age range to compare. It's irrelevant because age is still irrelevant, right? And so wherever you are in your path, whether and don't even look at age, because that doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But I use the word age, the language age, because it doesn't matter if you are 90, 70, 50, 15, 20. We are in an experience right now where humanity is able to transcend, and we have the most opportunistic point right now to leverage social constructs that exist operate within them, right? But to our advantage right now, we have the advantage. And it's important to be reminded that we have the advantage. You know, a lot of players in the bigger arena, the bigger players in the world, right? They, I'm saying stuff, I'm sorry, guys. I'm staging my house tomorrow again. Sorry. So we all have like this current leverage opportunistic moment to really set the tone for your own life. All right. We never get this like life advice. I mean, I don't know anyone who's offering this type of information. I mean, I just don't know. And so these are things that should, number one, you know, be taught in school and life. Not all things I'm talking about here in school, but, you know, in general, it's conceptual. There are things that we should be taught and we're never taught, right? It's only until we go into the real world that we realize what's going on, right? And so I want to instill confidence. Everyone here has a voice, and everyone needs to realize that, you know, you can have confidence in your voice, okay? And maybe you can't get there overnight, and that's okay. When I say get there overnight, I mean like using your voice overnight. But I want to help every single one of you guys. And I want to empower you. I want you to really become who you were supposed to be, who you already are unfolding to be, okay? And there's so much, and I feel that I just, humanity needs that, and I will do whatever I can to remind us all of that, okay? So that is a little off topic, I know, but I felt so compelled to bring this confidence in all of you. If you ever felt, or if you currently feel not as confident as you'd like to be, or if you currently are in a moment of time of life where you can use some encouragement, I want to be that voice in your ear to remind you of your own truth, okay? And so a lot of leaders and a lot of people and influencers, they influence with lower vibrational frequency. They influence because they want something in return in a different way, or they want just to inflate their ego. And we can't dissect every person like on the bigger scale. That's not our battle to do. All we can do is, come together as people who really do want the betterment for ourselves, for our family, for our lives, for our friends, for humanity, for the collective. And that is my goal here. I know that we do readings. Readings is probably not my favorite thing to do, but I still do them because that is where I feel that you guys want, so I do them. But I do want to instill power in you. I want to inspire you. I want to uplift you as best I can. And I just want you to remember who you are, who you've always been. And so if you needed that reminder, I'm so happy that I was able to give it to you tonight. Okay? And now we can go on to paranormal topic. All right? Can you guys let me know if you at least appreciated or resonated with that a little off topic ranting, I guess? I don't really call it a rant because I feel like people rant, they're ranting because they're like upset or they're like venting, and that's why the word rant does not like resonate with me. And I'm very picky and choosy about the language I use because I want to be picky and choosy. I can use whatever language I want, but I like to use language that I feel good about. So let me make sure I can see here. Yay! Yes. And I don't mind the readings at all. So I don't want anyone to feel that I don't want to do readings. But I do enjoy at least bringing you some insight before readings. And I know that sometimes that intro or like that first half of our like visit here, the whole thing can be lengthy. Like the whole live stream can be lengthy. But I really do feel that it's important that we do talk about these topics because we're human beings, right? And we're constantly interacting. And so even if you're not here in the physical live, like right now, but say you're not here tonight, but you watch it like the next day, right? I feel that no matter when you watch this, you're gonna get value. At least that's my hope. I don't know if you are getting value the next day or if you rewatch a different live stream, but I really bring all that I possibly can to you guys in this moment, and I tap into just the energies. I want to bring the highest vibration, the light, the truth, the wisdom, the insight, and I also want you to feel empowered. I never, ever want anyone to feel less than here, and I don't think that ever comes across, but I'm the kind of person where I want you to have that power. I'm going to show you how to regain your power, and a true intuitive, a true empath, a true psychic, a true divine being will never take your power. And that is how you know when someone is authentic and genuine and sincere. And that is one way to always know when you see other people who do different methods, right? Your instincts anyways should tell you. I know sometimes we forget to listen to those instincts, but they're always there. And so, but in case people forget about those pieces, the main way to always know if somebody is legitimate or not, or can you trust this person? Of course, look at your listen to your instincts. Of course, that's number one. That's how you grow your intuitive abilities and your empathic abilities and your these abilities. But number two, the best and easy sign to always be able to know is that are they taking the power away from you, or are they giving you power? When you leave that experience on any level, do you feel more empowered, or do you feel like you feel defeated, right? Or do you feel that you're forced to come back because I know you guys come back every night, but I don't force anyone to come back. So I think you guys get what I'm trying to say about that. If they're giving you back the power, if they're showing you how, and they're very open about it, and there's no hidden agendas, that's a clear indicator that they actually do have your best interest, and they have nothing else hidden. There's no ulterior motive. And so I just hope that that's some wisdom or insight that you guys can use as we engage in the world and as we see other people who do different things, okay? So that's what I wanted to say. Scorpio for this lifetime says, love your energy. You're such a kind person. Oh, well, thank you, Scorpio, for this lifetime. I haven't seen you here in the live streams, so thank you for being here. We have some Scorpios in the house or in our general arena. I'm a Scorpio, so it's nice to see Scorpios here. Cool. Thank you for being here. Oh, thank you, Amy. Thank you, Gojo. Thank you. Hi, Desert Flower. Hi, Turquoise. Turquoise says, thank you. I really needed this. Much appreciation. Yeah, no, we all face these moments where like energy gets stuck, okay? And like, I'm going to help us move that energy lots of ways. Trust me. You're not going to even know all of the ways I'm going to be helping you, but you're going to want, as we are in unison, like energetic unison here, your energy will move. I can promise you that. I have family, friends, people who are close to me. When they're down or needing help or guidance, they flock to me because they know I'm going to help them in the most divine way. So I believe that we as a group here, right? Whether you're live or not, like, in the chat, live chat, or you watch the videos later, trust me, we are going to move this energy. All right. And even if you don't think you have any stagnant energy, there's always pieces that could be enhanced, right? So we are all benefiting in so many ways. I promise that. So, hi, Purple Butterfly. How are you? I've never seen you here during the live stream, so very much thank you for being here and welcome. Hi, Samprita. Samprita says, love you, Katrina. You are so inspiring. Sometimes I feel so low. I know. There's so many things outside of our experiences, or, in the everyday world that takes us down. I'm going to do whatever I can to not only bring you the actual energy here in like real time, but I'm going to also constantly show us ways to enhance our environment and simple tactics that you can do, very basic, nothing elaborate, nothing like, very simple tactical pieces that you can do to better your experience. And then of course, we're going to move that energy. We're going to move it because it's destined. It's destiny. It's your birthright, right? It's your birthright. And so remember that it's your birthright to be happy. It's your birthright to be powerful. It is your birthright to be a creative person. It is your birthright to live the life to the fullest ability. It's your birthright. I hope that stays with you, okay? And Desert says, I was literally watching one of your videos when you came live. Desert Flower, which video was it? If you don't mind me asking. Desert, Denise. I remember it's Denise, trust me. I remember certain pieces. I can't remember the whole dynamics, but I do remember what I can. Mr. Pinkle says, oh, great minds. Gojo, both on the anti-sugar trail. Yes, no sugar. I mean, I still like sugar, don't get me wrong. I have to have some sugar. I do. But I can't have too much this hour. Then I won't be able to go to bed after we're done. Hi, Rapali. Really, when I use Vicks, at any part of my body is so sensitive. It never used to be, but like, gosh, smells, taste, like just, I'm so sensitive these days. I have to be very careful. I know that sounds so silly, but I do have to be careful. One time, it's a silly thing to say, but like, this is how sensitive my energies are, which is not a bad thing. It just happens, when you're more intuitive. Now, it's important to protect your energy too. So I'm just saying, like, one of the things that take place when you are more like sensitive person, I don't mean sensitive emotionally, I mean sensitive to energies. So one time I was making, drawing a bath. I use essential oils sometimes. Like they have tea. I like tea tree and peppermint whenever I want to like detoxify. I only put a very tiny, like I'm saying the tiniest, but I had to get out of the bath. It just was too potent for me. And so for a while I had to take bath, like hot, warm baths with just water. So, and one time I had, you know how they have Epsom salt? I hardly had put any in there. I literally had to jump out of the bath, like the bath, not a shower, but a bath. So, and those are different things have taken place that I had to adjust myself to that never, would have been like an issue before. But so just sharing some bits and pieces about my own experience. So, all right. Now let me go back here. Amy says, kind person and seem to have a strong sense of self. It's inspiring. I look forward to moving forward. Yes. Yes. We're moving forward, Amy. We are going to move forward. I promise. And Amy, I feel your energy. I feel your energetics and we're moving forward. I can promise you that on an energetic wavelength. Okay. My most recent one. Okay. Desert, the live stream or like the ones I had uploaded? I do have Tiger Balm too, Mr. Pinkle. I do. I have been so sensitive. I have to like be very the level of sensitivity has, I can't even explain it. It's like ridiculous. Like I like these, like I have that Tiger Balm, I do. And even that could be too intense. Just, I don't know. I can't, it's hard to explain what's happening, but I have to just go with it. So lately I've had to like cut back on the incense, cut back on the saging, which I don't like to do. And like just I had to cut back on certain pieces that I really, really, really would like do like daily, because like the smells and the experience were like so potent to me. I was like, wow, let's take care of, like, let's not like overdo this. Even though I wasn't overdoing it, it just felt so like I was just so sensitive. So, all right. Anyways, let's go on to the topic of paranormal. I have my notes in my actual phone here about what I want to talk about on that topic. And I'm also open to anything on that topic matter or on that subject matter that is pressing in your mind that you're curious about. Whatever it is that you want to ask about, let's put it in the chat and we'll work through it. If I have the answers on it, I will tell you. If I don't, I'll tell you I don't. All right. Maria N says, you also been stuck. We're going to move this. We're going to move energy. Like that is just, it's who I am. It's who I've always been. So to me, it's like done. Like when I say done, I'm like, that's it. We're going to do that. Like I'm 100% sure. Okay. Desert Flower says, by the way, I'm impressed that you remember my name. Yes, Denise. Certain energies I pick up on a little bit stronger. I don't pick and choose how it works out. It's just what takes place. But yeah, I do. I pick up the energies and I just, it happens that way. So yes, I did remember your name. Hi, honey. How are you? Thank you for being here. All right. So let me get my notes out. Yay. All right. All right, here we go. Let me just stand up to have my drinker, and then we're gonna go into paranormal. Okay. Okay. Okay, perfect. We're here. Okay, so we're gonna talk about paranormal. Sometimes that language itself, I don't always like, but I work with what we got to work with. But on the topic of paranormal, I want to begin with what's probably most common and typical for people to have either encountered or experienced, and then we can go anywhere on that scale, right, up or down, to like address it. But I want to talk about the most common experiences that happen all the time, and I'm going to do my best to explain and define what's happening in those moments, and do my best to walk us all through that. Okay, so let me just ground my energy. Okay. And if I'm missing something that's important, let me know, guys. That way, I can't follow the complete chat. I try my best to. But if I am missing something important that does need to be addressed, let me know, okay? Let's see. Turquoise says, I bought my house 30 years ago. We used to hear a lot of noises upstairs, bath in the bedroom. At first, I thought I was going crazy. I didn't tell anyone, but my girls also heard, and some guests also heard noises too, like loud slams. Okay. I will be talking about that exact experience. Okay, that's what I'm going to be talking about first, about paranormal. And again, all from a position of the highest vibration. And I'm going to walk us through how we shouldn't. You guys are going to see how it's going to go down. That way, there's no confusion, and I don't want anyone to feel left afraid or fearful. I'm going to walk us through what's happening in those moments and bring some light to any, scary experiences, any darkness. I'm going to shed some light on these topics. That way we can understand a little bit more. And when we have more wisdom on these topics like esoteric and paranormal activities, if I can bring the light there and make you feel less fearful of what's happening and bring awareness on these subject matters, then you'll understand. And I'm going to also give tactics on how to handle that and what to do. And you're going to be in good hands. Okay. And I wish that people had talked about this in the past. I never heard anyone talk about these things before, So I feel like it's important because these are very common, typical experiences that happen all the time with people all around the world. And so I want to talk about these paranormal pieces or elements that are always happening, whether we know it or not. That way the more light and awareness I can shine on these topics and subjects, the less scary, the less confused, the less fear we bring in that experience. And that doesn't mean it does not mean you'll have no fear, but it will be minimized, and you'll at least be able to bring awareness with that. And I'm going to walk us through what you can do if you don't like that and how that's happening, why it's happening possibly. So So that's the subject for tonight. And so just like Turquoise placed in the chat, if anybody else has other experiences paranormal related, right? Put it in there so I can address them all. I mean, I know what I want to speak about, but I'll address your, experiences specifically and walk you through what might be happening and how to deal with that in the most light way, because you're going to hear how this goes down. So I trust that you guys are here for I wanted to say the show, but it's not really a show to me. But I guess the word show came out, so I go with what comes out. All right. I don't fight things. I let it be, and I work with it. So, and everyone should know you can always transcend everything to light. So there is no blocking, right? And again, you can use these analogies to apply to any areas of your life where you feel stuck and stagnant, and I'll show you how to use. So I'm going to show you the same powers over and over, how you can use them in this area and this area. You're going to see it all come together over time. And I tried the best to bring it, as much as I can in each live stream. And that's why I feel all the live streams are so important, because we are covering so many different pieces and layers and facets that there's not enough words that I could place in the subject line, the title line of the video, so really encompass and encapsulate all that we're talking about. So I think that every live stream we've done are all important, because there's pieces that are taking place that are it's like being my friend in person. That's what I want to offer for you guys. So let me look at this. Am I missing some notes here? Hold on, I can't see here. Okay. Hi, happily ever after. How are you? Hi, Eleni. Hi, Eleni. I'm so happy you're here. I'm sure you're tired. I know it's a late one, but we're gonna get started now. We're already plowing through this, okay? Turquoise says, "This is my first time talking to someone that is knowledgeable." Aw, you're very welcome, Turquoise. Okay. Sean says he's curious about orbs. Okay. We will talk about orbs. Okay. And remind me. So I want everyone to feel comfortable to put in the chat what they want to talk about. I am going to talk about house noises, like noises in your house. And again, this is not to scare anybody, because if you bring fear in this process, then we lose the vibrational frequency, and that would defeat the purpose of it. I'm going to bring truth, wisdom, and light to topics that are not easy for a lot of people. Okay, if that makes any sense, guys. And that's why I want to remind everyone that this is not about fear. This is about truth in a very divine level. If I don't feel the vibrations positive or the topic's appropriate, and if I don't have the ability to bring the light in that topic, then I won't talk about it, right? So I want everyone to be in a very safe, secure position, that we are not here to scare anyone. That's not that would defeat this purpose. We are here to shed the light on these areas so that we can have more awareness, okay? So Eleni says I'm entertaining. Well, that's a good thing, I guess, right? I'm okay with that. Desert Flower says, my daughter used to, Desert Flower says, I used to see a man named Martin when my daughter used to see a man named Martin when she was 4, and he's popped in and out of her home for 10 years. Yes, I will talk about that. I will, okay? I will definitely address this. Amy says, I've had paranormal experiences. My mom has had them for sure. She's incredibly sensitive. All women in her family were. That's good to know, Amy. Amy, are you leaving us? You put on here sweet dreams. Are you still going to stay with us or are you leaving, Amy? I'm just curious. And then Desert is asking, I'm wondering if Martin is still lingering around and why he chose us and my daughter. I'm going to address this. This happens a lot of times. I'm going to address this first, okay? And Amy says, no, it's Eleni who's going. Oh, okay. Thank you, Amy, for staying. And Eleni, I understand if you get tired. Sweet dreams, Eleni, okay? Amy's staying, okay. All right, so, like I said, these are very sensitive subjects that I just feel that it's important to bring the information in a very non-fearful way. Of course, these things can scare people. That's why I don't want anyone to feel scared in this process. There's no reason to feel scared, especially with me helping us navigate the waters here. Okay, and I will be willing to share my experiences too on all the different levels of what I've experienced. Not all of the different experiences, but I'll share a couple of them on every different level of what I've seen, what I've witnessed, and that way it opens it up for other people to share their thing, okay? So, I see Norman here, I think, right? Norman, you're never late. No late in the game. You're always on time. You're always on time. Remember that. There's always divine timing. You're never late. And even if you feel you missed something, you can always rewind it later and watch that part later. You're never late. You're always where you're supposed to be, everyone. You're never late, okay? You're always on time. Remember that. Thank you, Amy, for agreeing there. Never late, Norman. All right. And Norman, I haven't had a chance to give you a wrench yet. I know you said yesterday. Today was a very long day for me, guys. But I know that I will. And if anybody else is interested or willing to help us out in the chat and you're willing to be, and help us through that, let me know. We all could the more we have people to be moderators here, the better, because, it's not fair for everyone to be here every single night and to put the burden on everybody. And so I feel that it's important that if we have anybody who's willing to do that and join that part of the process, it would be so greatly appreciated, because, going live every night, and then not only just that it's every night, but sometimes we do go live for so many hours, it's a lot of a burden sometimes for 1 or 2 people or 3 people to be the moderator the whole time. And then also for them to also be able to experience the same thing. So if you're willing to be a moderator or the wrench thing, whatever that thing's called, if you're willing to help out, please let me know in the chat here, because I need to know. That way I can put my notes in tomorrow, that piece, okay? So while we're on that topic, since we're there, can anybody who's here, is anybody willing to volunteer to be to help us? If you don't feel comfortable or confident to do that, that's okay. There's no pressure. But if you are willing to help out when you can, and again, you don't have to feel you have to help the whole time, but whenever you can help out, that's all we can ask for as a group, okay, as people together. So let me see if anybody willing to do so. I know that Norman, and I think that's all I had is Norman. And I think I got an email from, was it Bama Secret Sisters? She said she wanted to help out. I have to do that well tomorrow. Is there anybody, and she's not here tonight, but is there anybody who's willing to help out and do that? Aww. Mr. Pinkle says it's not a burden. Oh, well, thank you, Mr. Pinkle. I just want to make sure that it's not, I don't want to feel a couple of people, a handful of people with the pressure to keep up with the reading list, right? Or if people are asking who come in who are new, who don't know the channel and just want to know what's going on. I know like last night there were some new people who came in and they just want to be in the reading list. And I feel I think, was it Sean he had left a little bit, and I felt so bad because I think that they were like, well, what's going on? You have these moderators here, and they don't know what's going on. I just felt so bad because I know that he didn't know what's happening, or I don't know, was it he or she? I don't know. And I didn't want anyone to feel that we didn't care about them. And I did also felt like I wanted to protect us here as well. And so if you're willing to help us out, I greatly appreciate that. And if you're not, that's okay too. So make sure I'm done here. And then Mr. Pinkle says, can these experiences be your spirit guides showing themselves? I will address that, but spirit guides will not address themselves in physical form, or like, I'm going to talk about that. I am. Okay. Can you remind me, Mr. Pinkle, please? Because I'm going to address the first part, the first couple of questions first, and then I'll go into spirit guides. So can I trust you, Mr. Pinkle, to help remind me about the spirit guides and how they show up? They will show up in a different format than entities, okay? And entities does not mean negative or positive. There's neutral entities. There's neutral entities as well who don't have any, they're not hurting us. They're just there. So Mr. Pinko, can I trust you to remind me in a little bit about spirit guides and how you can listen to or look for, or how you know they're spirit guides versus other energies? Can you remind me on that, Mr. Pinko? Thank you. All right, so Amy says she will help. Thank you, Amy. Sorry. Oh my God. All right, there goes. Thank you guys so much. Okay. Hi, Jenny T. How are you? Thank you for being here. Norman says he loves ghosts. All right. I mean, I wouldn't say I love ghosts, but Norman, stay here. Stay tuned. And Norman, I feel like you're my little brother. I don't know why. That's kind of the energy I get from you. So my little brother, or like my cousin or something. I don't know. But hi, Jenny. Thank you for being here. All right. I got that for sure. Thank you guys. Okay. And Desert, Denise says she's willing to do it as well. Thank you so much, Denise, for offering. I'm going to add you as well. Okay. So tomorrow's night live, you'll see Hi, Happily Ever After. We missed you the last 2 nights, but you're a moderator. You know, I gave that to you like a while back. So I'm happy you're back again, Happily Ever After. Everybody wants a happily ever after, right? What a beautiful name. I want to be happily ever after. Oh, and so one topic that I will talk about maybe tomorrow is the topic of love, because there's different stages of love and there's different experience of love and like partnerships that exist in a human being's life that I feel that sometimes don't always get explained in depth. And so I feel it's important that I do address that issue, not an issue, but like that topic, because people can get into these false illusions of like this experience, and the insight that I have, I want to share about that piece too. Does that interest you for tomorrow night? Like love? And I mean, I'm not saying like love in like a general love. I'm referring to like, you know, significant other kind of love. And there's different like depths of love, and there's different type of experiences and relationships. And I can cover the twin flame a little bit and the soulmate, but I'm going to cover it in a bigger, broader sense. Like, you know, whereas we might have soulmates and twin flames in this life, but we might not be meant to be with them in this lifetime. Okay. If that makes any sense for anybody out there listening now. Again, I'm not covering this topic right this moment, but, for tomorrow night, do you guys want to hear about love in depth? Because, you know, when I hear about other people talk about twin flame and soulmate, like I get the concept and I resonate with the concept of soulmate, not so much twin flame for me personally, but I know what they're meaning. Okay. And especially when it comes to people who are awareness, but even more importantly for people who are already, I mean, I've already been married once. I'm not saying that I'm not proud of that, but you know, there's a bigger perspective when it comes to love in that realm that I really wish I would have known like years ago, right? That it would just help me understand that part of myself a little bit more. So if that part resonates with anybody here, please let me know and we'll talk about that tomorrow. And again, I'll put the word like love in the topic. People might not know what we're talking about, but it's going to be on a deeper level. We're going to cover it in a very like mature manner, on a very, I would say mature manner, not like graphically mature, but we're going to cover it in a manner that like is on a higher vibrational frequency, that's from a macro position of how we have certain partnerships and how they take place in our life. And not every partner we're with is supposed to be the partner that we end up in life with forever. And again, that's not tonight's topic, but if that does interest people and you want to know about that from my understanding, I am happy to talk about that for sure. All right. So I'm hoping that I get a consensus on that. Let's see here. Scorpio for this lifetime says, can't wait for that topic. Well, I'm glad that you then be here tomorrow night, Scorpio, for this lifetime. You might like it. I mean, I'm going to talk about it from my position, like from my awareness, not like from my awareness, from my insight, from where I understand, from what I've been shown energetically, what's taking place. Again, the love I'm talking about is like partnerships. We are not talking about family and friends, and I will cover like the twin flame piece to address it as a whole. But it's not about necessarily like, first time romance. It's not that kind of love that I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be talking about it on a little bit deeper macro level. So I want to at least preface that. That way I'm not setting up any false expectations for anyone. You know what I'm saying, guys? And I hope this is not coming across negative. This is not to be negative, but I like to keep it very real and authentic. That's what I'm trying to do. So if I repeat myself or if I'm restating a piece that's like I'm stressing it more, it's so that everyone's on the same page of what to expect. I never want someone to say, oh, well, she says she's going to talk about this piece, and I have other people who want to know about like this first boyfriend or experience. Like, that would be not the time for that type of person. Well, they can be there. That way they can learn, because we're all at different stages and we're all going to help each other no matter where we're at, right? No matter where we're at, we're going to help everybody. But the type of love I'm talking about for tomorrow night will be on a deeper level from a macro position. All right. That's what I'm referring to. That way there's no false expectations and everyone understands what that means for tomorrow night. Okay. So, all right. Well, I'm in Central Time Zone, if anybody was asking about that. We don't have a set time right now. And the reason why we don't have a set time is because when I commit completely, and I have not committed to a certain time yet. Until I have, I run a business that's not related to these topics at all. And that's during the daytime hours. I also have a son who's 10, and I have to give him my attention and like, be a good mom and support him and like, be a mom. Yeah. So I can't commit exactly to a time. I am aiming for 11 p.m. Central Time. It has not gone that way. I have been beginning the lives around midnight, sometimes 1 a.m. Tonight is the very exception that I started so late. And that is because I had a very big work project that I had to complete before tomorrow. I knew if I did it after tonight, that there's no way I'd be able to do it. So I had to do that project first, meet those deadlines, and then that's why I got started late tonight. But I'm in Central Time Zone, and my goal is to be 11 p.m. Central Time. It has not worked out that way, so I'm open about that. So that's why I have not committed to a time. That's the reason why. So if we're able to be fluid and work with each other, then we're on the same team, all right? But I'm open and honest about it. So I'm not saying it's this time I'm not showing up. I like to be in integrity. I don't have a time, but I can commit to. I want to be here every night. That's been what we've been doing. As far as when I get started, I hope to be earlier. That way I can have a better schedule. But some things come up and I have to just go with the priorities first. And I'm here. I am here every night for sure. What time? I cannot predict that yet. I'd like it to be 11 p.m. Central Time. Right now, it's been like midnight, 1 a.m. So bear with me. Be fluid. Let's be fluid, like water. All right. My brain is like a sieve. What does that mean, Mr. Pinkle? Your brain is like a sieve. All right. So wait. I'm adding Amy. That's my whole point. Sorry, guys. I'm adding Amy. I'm also going to add Desert. This isn't, my pen isn't working, so let's try this again. Different pens. This one isn't working. And again, I really appreciate you guys offering your assistance. It means so much. Okay. Okay, sorry guys. Norman. All right, thank you guys. And then tomorrow, I mean, I couldn't get the consensus, but I can't read the chat. I don't want to waste too much time. Is that okay for tomorrow, the whole love topic? Just give me a yes or a no. And then, okay. All right. Okay. Yay. Okay. We're going to roll right through this, okay? All right, let's go through this here. Okay. Yay. All right, so let's go back to, okay, so I got the, yes, so I got the yes on the topic for love tomorrow. That will be your topic, okay? I'll probably add another topic, but at least that'll be the thing, the main one. And happily, no, I want you to share your experience. That's the whole point, happily. I know you missed the beginning part. We want you to share your experience, and we want to talk about these experiences that are happening to people on a regular basis. And that's the whole point of tonight's discussion, okay? And then Turquoise says, when I get more used to YouTube, you'll help out. All right, Turquoise. Keep with us, okay? Hi, Jenny T again. Thank you for showing up, okay? Thank you. Your presence is always known. Everyone's presence is always known. I promise you guys. If anybody knows about energetics, it's always here. Like when you show up, you show up. We are, our energy bodies are vast. And so when we show up to a, you know, whether it's a person or in an experience, we show up. And so I promise you guys, when you show up, you're getting the energetic download, you're getting the insight, the wisdom, inspiration. You are going to be uplifted. Even if you don't participate, you're still getting that. Okay. So even if we have people who come here and they're not participating, they're still getting it too. But you get it more when we know who you are. Okay. That's what's happening for real. That's not to make people like join and be part of it. Whatever your comfort level is whatever is fine with me. So, all right. So I'm just taking my drink here, and then we're going to go into these topics about house noises in our house and the common experiences that take place on a daily basis for a lot of people. And if anybody wants to share their experience about it in the chat, so I can at least address it out loud and give you my insight, whatever I understand about what's happening, and we can all talk together. And then Amy says, I'm a mod for Oni. Oh, Amy, are you? Okay. Yay. I'm happy to know that. Okay. And just a reminder, so, and hi Gojo again. So Denise says, I'm wondering if it's still lingering around my house, or sorry, around us, and why he chose us and my daughter. Okay. And Denise, can you tell me about your daughter? What is her, do you know, what's her, what is her sun sign? If you know her moon sign, I would like to know that too, but if you don't, that's okay. Just curious about that. And Denise, remind me about your sun sign too. And anybody had any experiences, remind me of your sun sign. I can't remember everything, but I try to remember the most important pieces. And then Amy says she had paranormal experiences, and your mom has had them too. Your mom is incredibly sensitive, and okay. And again, so Amy says all the women in her family were. So we will talk about that too, Amy. Can you remind me? Because it's important that we do talk about that, because oftentimes when we have people in our bloodline who are very sensitive, it's very more likely that continues to go forth, if that makes any sense. Like where, so like, you know, it's not always the case, but it's more likely if that is the case, you know, it's very common when it happens. So if the mom was sensitive, the daughter sensitive, then that daughter's or that child will be more sensitive too. So that is very, very, very common when it comes to like sensitivity, intuition, empathic, these experiences, right? And there's not really a label to call what's happening here. And I don't need to have labels because, sorry, I'm here. Labels sometimes limit us and block us or put us in a box. And labels can also scare us. Like the word psychic can scare people, right? And I know that for sure. So when I'm referring to all these things that are taking place, it's just, you know, if you are someone who's sensitive to energies, if you are somebody who is intuitive, empathic, there's different methods, and I'm going to walk you through the different kinds of experiences that take place, right? And then you guys can let me know which ones you feel you have more heightened awareness on, okay? Heightened awareness. And on that topic of heightened awareness, hold on, guys. There is a video that I did create on my channel. I think it's called Heightened Awareness. It's a little lengthy. It's more like a storytelling experience, but I do share a story about my own heightened awareness experience when I was like 5, one experience. So if that does interest you later, you can watch that later. But wanted to share that out loud. Okay. But there's different types. So we all have these abilities. I call them abilities because it just, you know, we have the 5 senses, guys, the 5 senses, right? We know those are. And then, you know, they all have like the 6th sense, but really the 6th sense is really just, I wouldn't even use that label. I would just say there are additional senses. I would call them extrasensory perceptions. That's really what it is, okay? And how we pick up on those extrasensory perceptions depends on where our strengths are in that process. So for example, some people have more extrasensory perceptions when it comes to hearing information, okay? So if you are someone who hears things in your ear, whispering, or you hear things, or you hear sounds, or you know how they always say the ringing in the ears or that like buzzing, right? I'm gonna walk through them all. If you are someone who has that's more prominent, then you know, you can look at that particular, I guess, what they call it, a psychic ability or talent or gift. I think it's called clairaudience. Then some people are more clairsentience, where they pick up smells. So if you're sleeping and all of a sudden you have this like sense of smell that overtakes you, and you're like, well, surely no, that smell doesn't fit the environment that I'm in right now. That's one example or one method that you are more clairsentient, okay? Where you're picking up smells. Another way that you can experience these heightened awareness, these extra sensory perceptions is if you see things, right? More visual, okay? And You can see people who are not physically there, but you know what you see, and you just can't really like make sense of that information. But they're something's happening there, and you're seeing what looks like a human being, but maybe okay. And you can see other things too. You can see water off the faucet and no one's moving the water. You could see things take place physically, like maybe your washer starts on and lights go up and down, or not up and down, not like all crazy. We're not going scary here, but things on that level, right? Where you're like, oh, well, you know what? I swear I closed that cabinet, but I don't know. Or, you move something in your house, like, I don't know, a piece of jewelry, and then it's not there. And it's there, but it's not there, right? That more on the visual aspect, right? And then you also have, there is one like with your taste, but that's very rare. It's possible. You can taste stuff that they're not there, but you can. But the more common, frequently ones are where you hear, see, even like the scent, the smell one is less common. It's mostly common about like hearing, seeing, and like also a different one that like where you're getting downloads, insights, information. Okay, you're like, so it's not necessarily auditory and it's not necessarily visual, but you're gaining like information into your brain that like you didn't get on your own, but like because your awareness is open, right? And you're in a vibrational frequency where you can receive information. Sometimes you get insights, downloads, and it could be about what you're supposed to do right now. It could be about future or past or information of all kinds. So I just call that like downloads. So those were a couple of like just definitional pieces for us to at least understand about different ways and methods and how it could affect us or how things can be happening. Okay. But they're very real. So don't ever shy away from things that take place. And again, I'm going to walk through very specific examples. Okay. That way there's going to be more here, but I want to at least cover like on a very general basis. These are very real processes that take place for people a lot, right? Now, of course, in life, we sometimes ignore them because we're like, well, we can't talk about that. They're going to think I'm crazy. I understand. So some people are more intuitive, more sensitive, more empathic than others. Some people shut their powers off early in life because you get told like, well, don't think about that. That's ridiculous. So a lot of conditioning can also taper down your abilities. And then later in life, when you have yourself come to different parts of your life. So sometimes we have these awakening moments, right? Or sometimes we have healing journeys. Let me explain. There are many ways your true self will awaken, not just on like, not just through an awakening experience, but if you're going through a healing journey, you're more open to coping and learning through your pain and growing. And because you're an open channel, an open vessel, that is another way that the guides, the higher powers are going to help you open up your sensitive abilities, right? So there's many various ways of how, come, and why, and the timing of it. There's so many things. But when it's happening, and yes, if it happens when you're younger and then you're not told you're told that, you do that, that's not right. Like, I understand that. So regardless of how it comes to you and when it does, if it's latent later in life, or if you had them and you just turned them down, and now they're reigniting, either way, again, it's divine timing. So if you had them before and they're less prominent, sometimes these abilities have to shut down, not completely. Let me explain to people who have had and have lost them, because you didn't do anything wrong, all right? What happens sometimes is that when we have these abilities really early in life, it can hinder our growth because we get so tapped into the spiritual realm that we don't want to actually live in the physical realm. And so when the spirit guides know that's happening on some wavelength, they will take us back because they're looking out for us. All right. They're not taking away your power. They're not making you feel defeat. They're taking it away because they need you to work in the physical world for some time again, right? So I hope that comes through the way it's supposed to come through, because never feel like you've been abandoned if you've had these gifts and then they kind of like lessened or dampened and now they're strong sometimes. There are moments in our life where we're supposed to be shown things at certain moments and then they're dampered down because we can't live in that world every day. All right. Even like myself, someone who's very spiritually oriented, my guides, they're with me on point and they allow me to be in this process as long as they honor the physical arena of life. Okay. And I respect that part. I can't live in the spirit world. I didn't come here to live in the spirit world, all right? Even if you have gifts, you didn't come here to live in the spirit world. You came here on earth to be in the physical world, and we came here to experience hard lessons, tough themes that are playing themselves out that we agreed to do. And when we get tapped in too much into the spiritual world, it's like, one extreme, then that's not healthy either. There is a balance of life. And that's what I want to share about that. So if you ever had abilities, you feel like they got weakened or lessened, they're still there, but there's a part of the journey that must be felt on a very physical level. Maybe needs to be more prominent at a given time. And once you go through those themes, those lessons, you will get those other pieces back, but they cannot give it to you, because then when we feel so close to home on this energetic wavelength, then we want to cling on and we don't want to participate in this world. And that's not how it works. We came here to participate in this physical world. So that's why you hear me talk about the physical experience, because I know it. You can't live in that realm. It doesn't work that way. And no matter how much you feel that you are, honoring yourself by living in that realm, that is not what you are supposed to do here. Like for anybody, right, including myself, I can't live in that realm. That's not why I'm here. And the more they give you access, right, and the more they give you abilities, and the more they heighten up your abilities, it's a responsibility. You have to be in integrity, right, and honor the boundaries. And if you can't do that, they're not going to help you. And not because they're hurting you or they don't want to give it to you. They know, they are your spirit guides, your higher self, the divine source itself. They know where you're at. We can't lie. Like, that's very transparent there. Like, I remember, like, one of my first experiences, like telepathy, like I did not understand, like how they were reading my mind. But they reassured me what that was, what was happening. But what I'm trying to say is that there are different parts of our journey that we have to be in the physical world with as well. And we can't abandon the physical world by reverting to this deep spiritual peace. Now that's on the other extreme. So if you're too much in the physical world, then you do need to jump back into this peace again. But either way, either side, you can't be in one place. Like, you can't be too much here or there. It has to be this internal integration, this alignment that only you will know what the balance is. I cannot tell you your balance, but you will know it, okay? And so if anyone was curious about that, that was what I wanted to share. So far, has that made any sense? Are you guys resonating with that? I hope that it does. I wasn't trying to ramble too far on, but can you guys let me know if that made any sense? Turquoise says yes. I'm getting my drink, guys. Yes, total sense. Okay, awesome. I'm so happy it does. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Amy. Norman says yes. My other drink. Oh, I gotta open that bigger next time. Oh, you know what? That one's colder. Got it. Okay. Okay. And let's see here. Sean says here, I have had many people say they've heard spirits in my home. I feel like I'm closed off to it because I never heard anything. I understand that because sometimes some points in our life we are not meant to be exposed to that because we are learning other pieces, right? So it doesn't mean that that people ever feel that or sense that or experience that. We are all on different paths on our journey. We are all on different like timelines, okay? And that's the way it's supposed to be. We are all not meant to be on the same exact path. That wouldn't make any sense. We're all very dynamically unique, and that's how we're supposed to be, right? We get like little doses of different things along the way on purpose that are only, unique to us, special to us as individuals, right? And so, yes, I've had people tell me they don't see it or feel it, and that's okay, right? Because we are all on different points. So it doesn't mean that your abilities aren't there. It just means that what you're learning at this moment is meant to be learned on. Whatever you're currently learning is what, and I believe that you are on the right path for sure, Sean. I do believe that you are doing more of the uncovering first, like the researching, like the discovering of like information first. And then once you have information and it settles right, then you can be more exposed and open. The universe, the divine, they're not going to overwhelm you, not intentionally, of course, because that would not be healthy for a human being, okay? So that's why I say that. And Mr. Pinkle says, what? Sounds pleasant, not too dramatic or negative, just like they think they're still here. Yes, I agree with that. And Mr. Pinkle, I'm about to talk about that for sure. I am, okay? And then Sean says, true. Are you saying true like you understand what I'm saying, or what are you saying true to? And then Sean also said, even my cats act weird like there's something around. That's true. Animals are more sensitive, cats and dogs. So that's true. And then let's see here. Amy says, Mom sees more than I have. I have vivid dreams of being inside my house and seeing them. I hear things and smell things, like things baking or coffee and breakfast being made. Yeah, that's very real. It's very real. Very real. Yeah. And I will talk about like dreams, not like real dreams, but like these other kinds of like dream-like experiences, okay? So, and Sean was saying what? Okay. About understanding first, that opens up. Yes. So it doesn't mean that you, sometimes we are all different kind of like, we have different ways of how we learn, right? And some people have different learning ways because it's unique to your soul's way of learning. Some people have all the information first, right? It just, again, like I don't have the definition and the reason, but I do know 100% without a doubt that it's very planned and very deliberate, not by me, but of course, the higher power at play is deliberate. So if you don't have those experiences, it does not mean that you are not tapped in, you're not spiritual. That's not what that means. It means that you're on a different part, and the way you're learning is a little bit different, okay? And they're unique to your person, your soul's identity. Your soul has everyone's soul has a different way, a different identity, and how they learn and how they experience the world. And the soul knows you more, your soul knows how you like to experience the world. So your soul will never leave you wrong. So if you haven't had that yet, it doesn't mean you're not going to get there. It means there's a method to the madness. There's a way and there's a process. that is very deliberate on purpose. Okay, there's a divine timing. It's there, it's there, it's there. And when it does come together, you're like, wow. Okay. So I hope that made sense, Sean. Please let me know. And let me see here. Amy says, one of my dogs looks, yeah, the ceiling. That's very common. Like, there and Scorpio for this lifetime says, there is a spirit that is in my home. Sometimes it gets to be too much, and I say, you're scaring me, please stop. And then I always say a prayer. Other times it just wants to let me know what's around. And I know, Scorpio, for this lifetime, we are going to address this. This is a very common, typical experience that a lot of people have. I've had this experience many times. I'm going to walk us through what is going down here, like, what's going on in those moments, and how to have them leave, all right? And what they're doing, right? I'm going to explain that right now. That's what we're going into now. Sean says, yes, it makes total sense. You understand. I'm happy you do. And Sean, even though you haven't had your first-hand experiences, sometimes as you're being prepped for these experiences, you may have other people that come into life that have them, or that have the information. And so it's all about how we've chosen how we're going to learn about that. Like, not like, you right now, but like you knew, and everybody else knows how they learn, right? Before we got here, we know our styles. The soul has a style, has a plan, right? There's a method to that there's a method there to the methodology. So sometimes how it begins is like they prep you in different ways, right? Appropriately. And they place different people in your life at different times to help preface it, to be there, to support it, to nurture it, because sometimes it can be too much, right? And let me explain on that, because people who are not mentally stable can go the other direction. And so the higher consciousness knows so grounding energy is so important. That's why I say this, grounding your energy. I'm going to walk us through. There's no reason to be scared. I'm going to help us all go through this, but I want to preface that because sometimes, we are not in a position at a point in time to be too much exposed at once. There's too much of learning or too much of other pieces happening. And so it's just sometimes too much. And we have to respect the process. Okay. So am I losing you guys? Are you guys still here? I'll stop rambling. I just want to make sure this is all beneficial and of value. If I'm rambling too much, tell me. I'll make it more concise. We'll just get to the points. But let me know. I like to make it more conversational, but I'm willing to go with what you guys like, because this is meant for you. This is an interactive dialogue, and so I don't want to just talk the whole time about, like, I want to get to what you guys want. And so please let me know if you're still here on board, and like, are you engaged? Let me know that. Norman says, I'm here. Norman says he understands. Scorpio for this lifetime says, is anyone else's house making noises right now? Scorpio for this lifetime. Scorpio for this lifetime. My house always makes noises, but don't be afraid. I'm going to walk us through what's happening here, all right? Don't ever be afraid. I know it's easier said than done, but don't, because you should never be afraid. I mean, of course, if it's happening, that it'll happen, that's fine, and that level, be afraid, but don't embrace that fear. I'm going to walk us through in a very comfortable and divine level of awareness and light, and we're going to all be safe together, okay? Scorpio says, thank you. You're welcome, okay? But don't give into the fear. This is why I want to talk about this topic, because sometimes there's no one to explain or express these aspects that happen on a regular basis for everyday people. Like, I have to go read a book to know this is real or what's happening. Like, that doesn't really make sense given where we're at in this lifetime. And I get it, like, so I just wish I would see more of people who have these abilities to, like, lead and help and talk and, like, and not just educate, because, like, I'm so over influencers or educators or teachers. Like, I'm not against them, but like, I just, it's so, for me, like, old. No offense, you know. And I mean, I went to school too. I went to school for finance and accounting, so I'm not against education system itself, Twitty. I might be against it a little bit, okay, but we grow and evolve as a species, as humanity, and like sometimes those old fashioned method of how they, and even, okay, so yes, there needs to be updated elements in the education, but like, let's talk about like even people who have influenced like world renowned leaders, or like people who are like experts in subject matters. Like, all they ever do is like just speak, speak, speak. You never see them actually explain, relate, give their own personal examples. If they can't give you their personal examples, personally, I'm not interested. I'm not against them. I'll still listen to them if I believe that, you know, I can get some value there. But I'm just not. I'm not interested in anyone who's not willing to like reveal and show their cards, right? Otherwise, like, you know, I'm gonna call your bluff, and I'm not interested in that. I can do that on my own time, right? So a lot of these people who are, you know, out there in the world existing, like, I'm not against them. I'm not at all. But I just feel that we have evolved as a humanity where we need more than that. Like, that's not gonna cut it as we go forward. I don't see the type of like people. I don't see, like, I just don't see what I would like to see out there. I don't see it. And so how do you guys feel about that? Do you guys see that out there? I don't know. I don't want it to be about what I don't see, but do you guys see that out there? And this is not to like be negative vibration or lower. I just want to know, do you guys feel that the people who are of influence, like when I say influence, I mean like of higher influence. We are not talking about like we're real influence, like, you know, leaders that are known, you know, I don't know, globally or at least nationally, or however you want to look at that. And maybe they don't be like that known, but like of, you know, leaders with influence and significance, you know. What do you guys think? Turquoise says, I don't think either. Mr. Pinkle says, platitudes be real. Amy says, I've yet to connect with my dad who's passed. I do think that you will soon, Amy. I do think so. I really do think so. I'm going to also show you how he might be giving you symbols. And then as you open up to more symbols, then he can be more connection to you. And then Mr. Pinkle says, yes. Okay. And then Jenny T says, here listening. Yay, Jenny. So happy that you're still here, Jenny T. And then Scorpio for this lifetime. The last thing I heard him say was, thank you. Are you still here? Are you still here, Jenny T, Gojo, Scorpio for this lifetime? I think that Samprika said that did I say Samprika here? And I see Norman, Amy, Gojo, Norman, Mr. Pinkle, Turquoise. All right. Yay. Denise. There we go. Norman. Okay. Well, we're here. Okay. Make sure this is not lagging on me. Okay. Yay. Ooh. Okay. So moving on to when we see or when we feel a presence of, if we see or feel a presence of another entity or a body or a person, Um, or if your home is making noises of some kind, right? Or you hear footsteps, or water turns off and on, or lights flicker just a little bit, or you just know, or sometimes you just feel wind, right? Sometimes you just feel like whoosh, or you hear noises, or your ear is buzzing, or sometimes you can feel pressure on like your body. Like there's different ways that the spirits will present themselves. Okay, and I hope that those small examples make sense a little bit. They use any way they can to get our attention and communicate. All right, and well, I'm trying to make sure that I'm watching the chat. You guys with me then? Because I'm not sure if like I'm being lagged or am I lagging? Am I good here? Okay, Norman says yes. Okay, thanks, Norman. All right. Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Chris. Okay. Let me just lower my AC. I mean, higher it. It's too cold again. I got too cold. Sorry. I'm freezing again. Let's see what. It's only at 68. Damn. Very much freezing. Okay. This is the last bit of it. Okay, that's all, folks. All right. All right, guys. So sorry about that. Okay. Okay. So here we go. Making sure I'm here. Yeah, can you guys who are here hit the like button for me? That way we at least we get like in the YouTube algorithm. I always feel weird saying that, but like I guess that's how YouTube works. I wish it was a different system, but that's how it operates, I guess. So all right. Thank you guys. Are you guys here? I know I had to go to the bathroom, so sorry for that, guys. I really do apologize. I had to go to the restroom, but you guys here? Thank you for being here and sticking here. But I promise to always bring you the most insight that I possibly can offer. So I do hope that through all these experiences, you're actually gaining not just, being with me here, but like information, value, insight, wisdom, I want you to grow individually. Whether I ever get to know you in the future or not, I want to have done something to offer more and added something to your life in any possible way. So I hope that I am able to do that, okay? So whenever we have, let me explain one example and then I can walk us through other examples. So if anybody has already placed their example, like, oh, not their example, their experience. So their experience, not example. If can you retype in your experience? That way we can all have them like more relevant right now. I know earlier we added them earlier, but I want them all to be prevalent right here so we can all address them. And then as you guys do that, I'll walk you through one experience, a very common experience that you guys are going to relate to, so we can also like work through this together. So as you guys replace your experiences that we're going to talk about together, I will just quickly, briefly share one experience that is going to be relatable, that I think they're going to understand. Everyone's going to understand. So, well, let me give two examples of energies that persist or that like place their energy experiences in different ways, and then we'll like dissect them or whatever you want to do. So number one, okay, don't forget, thank you, Sean Orps. Okay. So one very basic example that happens all the time for a lot of people. I don't want to say basic because it's not basic, but I'm trying to keep it like general, right? Without too much details, because I can go into details in my own experience, and I want to help us all go through your experiences. So it's not like I'm saying basic to be basic. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. So I apologize for that language. I don't like that word basic. We're not basic. I don't like that word basic. Sorry, guys. See, I have some humor, don't I? Gotta have humor. Oh, and by the way, before I forget, there's my spirit guides are telling me this, which I don't know why they're saying it. They're saying, say it right now. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna say it right now before I forget. They're saying that not only do numbers present themselves, but songs, lyrics of songs, whether you hear them on the radio or you hear it in your mind, there's a reason for that. And they say to follow the information. They say to like look at the lyrics and sit with that information. If the song comes on that you're like, well, that's an odd song, or that song makes sense right now, look at the time in your car or in your home, and then look up the angel numbers for that time. So let's just pretend it happens like 3:08, right, in the afternoon, for example. You hear a certain song, 3:08, or you hear a certain song, you're like, oh, that's a very prominent. You will know why you're hearing that song. Maybe you don't know exactly why, but you feel intuitively, instinctually like, wait, that song is, something tells me there's more there. That's why I want to say it. And so there might be. Look at the time and then look up the angel number for that time. So it's 3:08, for example. 3:08, angel numbers 3:08. Just these are very basic examples, but these happen all the time. And so I want people to know how they can get more tapped in, tuned in, and be aware and alert and take in what the symbologies are, because they're happening all the time. Also, if with like deceased loved ones, they're saying this to me right now. I'm like, okay, I wanted to start where I want to start, but they're gonna walk me through how they want to start. So I roll with it, guys. I'm fluid. So if it was my way all the time, I would just be like this. But okay, so but energy is fluid, so I go with water, like fluid. So sometimes certain spirit guides or certain, I'm like, we're not spirit guides yet. We are not there yet. See, they want to jump the gun here, but I'm going to go with it. Sometimes, and they're laughing at me, sometimes spirit guides want to, they have a certain like symbol, okay, they have for you, not for everybody. And it could be something that's very unique to you, or it could be something kind of common, but it's still unique to you, right? So to somebody else, it can be common, but to you, it's significant. So there are pieces like, say it's a flower or a butterfly, or say it's a feather, but it's usually not feathers. I mean, it's common to hear on lost feathers, but like that's not that common. And so I'm not against that, but you know, I just feel like people put out information that are like not realistic, and I'm like, God, they lead people. So, anyways, it could be like colors, flowers. It could be butterflies. It could be like ladybugs. Different things will present themselves on a reoccurring basis. So if you can look in your own life right now and you can look at these possibilities of symbols that have been repeating, reoccurring, and you're like, well, why do I keep seeing like, ladybugs in my house? Which I would think is very weird and unusual. Like I even looked up one time, my house was like infested with ladybugs. Okay. I was like, is that even possible? Like, if that is possible, tell me who else's house could ever possibly be infested with ladybugs. Right now, I looked up ladybugs. I know about ladybugs, but like, my God, like they are luck. They are a very good symbol, but like, I just couldn't believe there were so many everywhere in my house. It was ridiculous. Sorry, that was just off on a tangent here, but there's different things that take place. Like if you're at a park and you see a certain kind of flower all the time, or if you're noticing certain pieces or energetics, there's a reason why they keep reminding you, and they're showing you your truth, because they are trying to communicate. Your higher self, your spirit guides are always trying to get your attention, but sometimes we are in the busy world, right? The hustle and the bustle and the daily grind that we don't hear them. And also, they remind me, sometimes if you place yourself in too much of like lower frequency vibrational energies, they're trying to get your attention, but your brain is so much on the lower frequency that they're trying so hard, they can't get through to you because you're giving your attention to the wrong things. Okay. They're very compassionate there. Like, it was like, wow. So, and I was not even trying to talk, I was trying to talk about the paranormal things in the house, but they really came through there. So I guess that's how they wanted to start. I guess they get to decide. So I roll with this. So we're talking about spirit guides right now. I know I want to talk about the house ones. Okay, so maybe they want to lead us here. I'm cool with that. So spirit guides, we all have spirit guides. We all have many spirit guides, and we have certain ones that are with us for the whole life game, this life incarnation. We also have spirit guides that are with us beyond this life, right? But let's stick with what we are here with. Okay, so we have one that's here the whole time, and we also have several guides, right, who have our best interest at hand, who are with us at different phases of our life, right? So certain spirit guides in the spirit world they also have different talents and abilities. This is why I talk about the spiritual journey. I have a video on my channel about this exact topic. So if anyone's confused, I'll have to look up the topic and find it for you guys, but I do recommend that video because I talk about the whole dynamics of how this works, okay, after we leave here. But on the spirit piece, we have different guides who have different like expertises. I know that sounds so funny and so weird, but that's the best like language language they can give me to like articulate what we would associate, how we would identify what they look like, or like what that looks like, not what that looks like. Okay. So if you guys are following me, I hope so. We're here, right? I hope you're following me here. Are you guys here following me? Let me know if I'm losing anybody. Please let me know if I'm losing anybody. Hi, Laura. Here we will talk about spiritual awakening, but right now we're talking about the spirit guides that we have who are with us in this journey. Jenny says yes. Mr. Pinkle, you said it could be worse. Ladybugs versus like, yeah, you're right. It could always be worse. Is this lagging? I mean, I don't know, guys. I need your help. I'm here taking it all in. Okay, Sean's here taking it all. All right. Turquoise is here. All right. And turquoise, that number 911, I will talk about that in a minute, all right? Can you remind me, turquoise? Can you remind me? Okay, well, let me know if we're losing people. I don't know, but we'll keep going, okay? So we have these spirit guides that are assigned to us during different parts of our life. And they have different, like, I guess, expertises, if that makes any sense to anybody. And I know that sounds kind of silly to say, but they do. And that's the best way that I can explain that idea conceptually. Not like in the physical world, but that's the best conceptual way I can explain that. So they are there to guide with their expertise. So let's just say a part of your life, which already is planned, you're going through a certain kind of heartache, a certain kind of pain. You have a certain guide that's there for that particular matter because that's their area of expertise. I know it sounds like a job and a career, but this is how it really works at the higher levels, okay? So, and they want me to go on this topic first before I go into the paranormal, about the house noises. I don't know why, but I'm going to follow it. So I hope you guys are here with me. Let me know if I'm losing people. I might be losing some people if you guys are tired. I know it's late, so I do respect that, but let me know. All right, so hi Denise, hi Jenny, and hi Laura. Awesome. Hi Sean, hi Turquoise, hi Pinkle. Okay. So we have spirit guides. We do. They're higher levels. Okay. So they just wanted their self to be known before I talk about the lower frequencies. I guess they must wanted to know. They wanted that to be known. So I gotta just go with that. All right, guys. All right. So there's a couple of things that take place in life, in our home, in our spaces. It's usually our house because we're there the most frequently compared to like being like at like a restaurant or like a gas station or like a different setting. The most common is going to be like in your own home because that's where it most likely would take place or occur. So one example is if you see a body that you know is not real and they're here or they're there, like, you know, they're in your awareness, you notice them. You as a human being notice them, but you also know they're not there physically, but you see them physically. All right. Typically, those are people who have passed on. Typically, they have passed on and they're lingering still. They either have unfinished business, but it should never be, I'm not the judge, but usually they need to resolve that unfinished business, which is why they're still there lingering. Or number two, they don't know they're not in the physical world again. They don't know that their physical body is not there. And some some energies just linger, okay? And so when that happens, I know it's happened to me, they just sit there. They're not here to harm you or hurt you or scare you. They're just what I would call neutrals, okay? Neutrals. They either don't know they're deceased, they don't know that they don't belong there anymore, or they're just there, right? Most likely in that experience, those type of entities don't mean any harm, okay? Either way, if they're not a family member who you want to be there, then they don't belong there. So even if they're neutral and they don't mean any harm, there is no reason for them to enter your space, and you should have them leave, okay? I'm not being rude about it, but it's very deliberate because you still have to protect your energy. And no, we do not need any lingering spirits in our awareness, in our presence, in our experience at all, okay? So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense here, but I do know how to help people who have entities in their home get them out, okay? But more than likely, they're neutral energies. More than likely, they're like neutrals, like they're not harming anybody, but they don't belong there. And so they don't deserve to be in your space, and you don't want them there. You do not want to entertain any being if they're not of the highest vibration, unless they are a deceased loved one who wants to be there and you want them there. That's the only exception. Otherwise, nothing else needs to be in your space in that experience, okay? So, and there is a way to get them out very nicely. They leave immediately. They don't know they don't even know they belong there or not to be there, but that's what's happening. Can you guys let me know in the chat if this is resonating at all? That way I know, and I can keep talking about the noises and stuff. And I would make sure I might over here. Guys, let me know. Okay, turquoise says yes. Jenny's yes. Thank you, guys. Anybody else? Okay, well, all right. So, excuse me. Jenny says yes. Laura's here. Turquoise, Jenny, Sean, Scorpio for this lifetime. Denise, thank you guys. Okay. Mr. Pinkle, Sean. Okay. Is Amy still here? Gojo's here. Hi, Gojo. Thank you for still being here. How about Amy? Is she still here? I'm asking because I know they have questions and I want to address those particular questions if they're here. I'll still address them in generalities, but I want to at least answer. And is Norman still here? Samprita? Okay. Laura says, I've seen drawers open by themselves and I see images. Okay. Sean asks, are the angelic and spiritual realms at a higher frequency? The angelic realm, yes. Okay. But just because you see a presence, it doesn't mean they're of higher frequency. Okay. So I do want to be very clear about that, because that does not mean that they're the angelic realm, yes. But the angelic realm is a very specific realm. The ascended masters is also a different realm, higher than the angelic realm. So just because, spirits or energetics are present does not mean they're of the highest frequency. And that's why I believe that it's most important that even if they're neutral spirits, you remove them from your experience, okay? Spirits will linger because they want attention. I know this sounds so weird because it sounds like they're human, and they still are, sort of. They haven't left that experience. That's why they're like that, okay, guys? And so they will want to find places where they're being hurt, but it's not a responsibility to keep them out. They have to go through their own process, and that's not for us to work them through that. What is a responsibility is to clear our space and not allow and know they're not welcome here in a very friendly way. It's not like you're telling them, it's not like you gotta have it's very cordial, it's not heavy, it's very easy. You're not welcome there. Okay, it's very simple. You let them know they are not welcome. Okay, they're not welcome there ever, not just now, but ever. Okay, and you shouldn't feel bad about it, because even if they're neutral, it doesn't matter. You don't want them in your space because they are taking up space, and you don't want to have your space filled with other things that don't that are not of the highest frequency, okay? So you don't want that. You don't want that, okay? So I hope that at least that piece is coming through. I hope it's coming through properly and like it's resonating here. It's a very sensitive subject, and I know that a lot of people ask about this, so I wanted to like talk about this piece, and maybe I'll create a separate video, like a little bit separately, about that particular aspect so that people can watch that. But I'm open to your guys' thoughts here. And Sean asks about healing frequencies. Are you saying, is it related to the spiritual realm? Frequencies in general help you transmit the kind of energies, but it's a little bit separate from like a little bit separate from the spiritual realm. So the spiritual realm is so all-encompassing, guys. I know it can be a little too much for people. I know that. So if you have anybody that continuously presents themselves, you want them to leave, and not because you're being rude or ugly, but you do want them to leave. Okay, that's just the best thing you can do for yourself. Is have them kindly leave, and they will. They will. They have no choice. They will leave. And so if your house is making noises, if your house is sounds, or you hear like just whatever activity is happening, I do recommend that you sage the house for sure, because you don't want those energetics in your home, especially if they are not for the highest good. You don't want them there. It doesn't serve you. And so oftentimes a lot of people, they get curious. I understand. They get curious and they want to entertain them. Not entertain, like see what that is like. I understand. That is not the best thing that's not what you should do. From my opinion. I don't care what you guys do, but I really do think that that's not the best thing to do, because when you continue to keep yourself open to neutralities like that level, then more will come. And you don't want that. Nobody wants that. I wouldn't want that. And just because you have the ability to tap in there doesn't mean you belong there, like in that level of the astral world and the spiritual realm. Again, I've said this in other videos and other live streams. I'm pretty sure I have. And again, I have other pre-recorded videos that I talk about the dimensions. You don't want to operate on those frequencies because it's taking up space, and you don't want to do that to yourself. Like, I'm not referring to harm or negativity. That's not what we're talking about here. We are talking about, like, we don't want to entertain that. Give it space, give it attention, because they want attention. I know that sounds weird for people to be like, we are not referring to like deceased loved ones. That's not the case in this concept. We are talking about just neutral spirits, energetics. We hear our house make noises. We hear different things taking place in our experiences. We see or feel presence of people who are obviously not physically here. And sometimes if you're more sensitive, you'll get a visual of them. You'll see them. Like, you'll see them how they last looked, right? I mean, I've seen them. And or you'll definitely, and they'll try to make contact, because once they know you're open, they want your attention. And that's what I'm trying to say, is that you don't want to give them attention, because that's not where you should be. Unless you're into negative and lower frequencies, then I don't care what you guys do, if that's the game. But that's not what we do here, and that's not what I'm about. And even if they may not have harm or like intention to harm, but it doesn't matter. You don't want to operate there. You just don't want to operate there. Okay. And oftentimes, since I'm on this topic of neutrals, so deceased loved ones, if they're coming there, they're coming for a purpose. They want to show you pieces and signs to connect. That's a different piece, okay? They're not ever there lingering to take up space to like distract you. In fact, deceased loved ones, if they come into your contact, they actually make such an attempt to not distract you so much. They try to make they are more extra subtle because they know they don't distract you. Okay. Neutral energies, you don't want them there. They're taking up space that they don't have. They should not do that. Don't give them the space and the attention. That's just the best thing I can say. I think I'm talking a little bit too much on this topic, because I know it from the bottom of my heart that you don't want to do that. Okay. Also, there are some lower frequency, like aliens, that operate on the lower frequencies as well. And I won't go into the various levels. It's just a little too much information for this video, but I do want to at least address it very briefly. That does take place. They are there. They do exist. I've seen them. And again, I treat them like not interested. Of course, people do entertain them. Not me, but other people who probably do travel in the astral world, or who are able to pick it up. They want, people like all of us here want to feel special, which I understand, but there's a way and a place to feel special, and you don't want to be special on that level. I mean, I feel like you're better than that, you know? And if you're more patient with your own learning and your own process, you can tap into higher vibrations that do serve you. Okay. So that's my, 2 cents on that, if that makes any sense for anybody. What else? Laura says, I feel I'm special because when I was 8, I was very sick. My parents were scared, my health, and that's when I saw images of angels. That's very common. When we are sick, we see angels. Yes, we do. I know that personally. And when you are nearing death, like, you also see them as well. Let me see, is there anybody who wants to talk about their topics here? That way I can address those topics about the paranormal experiences that are taking place. So, and then I know, I'm not sure if Denise or Desert Flower is still here, but she had last asked, my daughter used to see a man named Martin when she was 4, and it went on for 10 years. I was wondering why he chose her, and experienced him also, but also not to the same extent as her. Got it. And the best advice and insight I can bring on that topic would be that children in general are usually more open to that experience, what's happening on an energetic wavelength. And so spirits who happen to just be lingering at that moment, when I say lingering at the moment, in the environment, the physical environment, right? Like your home, okay? Or wherever. So if they're more open and they find someone who's open, they'll come, okay? And I know this to be 100% because I had wished I had known this before, like way back, because I would have been able to like prevent and like just block out so many things. But of course, you don't know until you know. And that's why I'm creating this video and this live stream. That way people who do have this experience can at least not feel they're alone. And I can hopefully walk them through what's really happening, and in a very divine and benevolent, of light frequency manner. It's not to be scary. It's not to be taken like with negative energy. This is to bring light into darkness, light into places that feel scary, and like bring fear for people. Okay. So Okay. Does anybody have any questions about this topic in general that I can address or answer? If they don't, that's okay. But I want you guys to be open to ask whatever you guys like, whatever you guys would like to ask or answer for me the best I can. Oh, sweet guys. Let me know, guys. What do you guys want to hear about, or what things would you like me to address or talk about on these topics? Okay. All right, turquoise. So whenever we have those type of dreams that feel like panic, for example, hold on, turquoise, can I make sure I understand the question? You're saying that you had a dream, right, about turquoise says my dream about 911 and then tonight then then taking my daughter to the hospital. So that happened all in one moment, right? Is that correct, turquoise? Where you had this dream and then this happened. Okay, let's see what she's saying. Turquoise says, in my dream, I tried to call 911 twice. This dream was after last night's live when I went to bed. Tonight, my daughter needed to go to the hospital and she is okay and home now. Okay. So here's what I can say about the anything. So the number 911 should not bring too much alarm, but it should bring notice, caution, like awareness. Not like caution to scare you, but it's to bring awareness, right? Hi, Rapali. Yeah, I'm taking questions, Rapali. Yes, I am. That's where we're at in the moment. Anybody who has a question, feel free to ask. That's what we're doing. So whenever the numbers like 911 in specifically come through, it's not to scare you or alarm you, but it is to show you, let's slow down. There's an awareness that wants to be to be revealed to you. When I say I do not mean like with energies or entities, I mean just in general, like there are things that are taking place in your life, and that symbolism is saying to slow down, be present with what is, and just become aware. So that is what usually is happening if that happens in the dream world with that particular example. I've had that number before, and it can be a very fearful number, like, oh my gosh, like 911, that sounds kind of scary, but it shouldn't always be scary. Yeah, Rapali, ask your question. If it's about these kind of topics, yes, you can ask your question. And then anybody else wants to ask a question, we can ask them. Okay. Yes, Rapali, you can ask. And then Laura had asked a little bit ago, you saw the angels, yes. And not everyone's going to understand that, and I respect that, like, it's not for everyone to understand all the pieces, but it does happen. And so you shouldn't be alarmed and afraid, especially if they're angels. That should be more calming that they're angels, right? Sean asks, can the temperance of a room temperature. Can the temperature of a room drop or rise when there's a spirit in the room? Yes. Yes. It can go either way. I mean, most people feel it when it gets cold, but I can feel hot and cold. So that does take place. Yes, it does. Sometimes when you get like goosebumps, for example, that's one way, but that's not always a given or a significant or a signifier that that's spirit. But that does sometimes happen where your body feels like this overwhelming feeling when you feel that there might be another presence. So I'm not saying each time you get goosebumps that happens. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that when you feel something else take place and then you get the goosebumps, okay, that would be an indicator for sure. Oh, okay. Well, Rapali, I'm taking questions on the topics of paranormal activity, things you have on that related experience. We weren't, I think that but if you have a question on that topic, you're able to ask, okay? And maybe Sean, since it's very late and I am tired, if nobody has any more questions, then we can just, end our live stream. And hi, Spirit of Atlantis. So happy you showed up. So, Sean, what I was saying was, if we'll take questions on paranormal topic, and then since we started so late in the night or the day, for me at least, my time zone, we don't have to do any of those readings because I think the people who were there for that, I don't know, I think they probably left. So I don't want to keep us all here all night on that either. So, Spirit of Atlantis. Yay. So, any other questions or topics on the category of paranormal experiences, paranormal activity in your home, in your awareness? I know I have addressed a lot already, so let me know, guys. What do you think? What do you guys want to talk about? Anything else? You guys let me know. What do you want to do? What should we do, Sean? Give me your opinion, Sean. I'm tired, so I can't think that straight at this point. So let me know. What do you think we should do, Sean? Okay, Laura's asking, can we talk about twin flames? I can talk a little bit about that, Laura, but I want to talk about that tomorrow, Laura. It's a different discussion. We can talk about it. Remember, whoever was here earlier, we talked about that we're going to talk about the love category tomorrow, about twin flames, soulmates, and like how we all have various like experiences related to love, deeper levels from a very macro position. Well, tomorrow that's tomorrow's category. So if you want to be here for tomorrow, Laura, we will definitely hit that topic in very deep levels as best I can offer it. Okay. Jenny says, "Get rest." I will. Thank you. Gojo says, go rest. I think, Katrina. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay. All right, guys. Well, let's call it a night, and we could reconvene tomorrow. Okay. And we can still talk more about the paranormal. I know that we got off to such a late start. So if anybody who was here tonight earlier has more questions about these topics, we can like at least complete any questions or unanswered pieces tomorrow, and then we'll talk about love on the deeper levels, and we'll go from there. Okay, guys. Turquoise says, "Thank you for tonight. Good luck." Yes, for sure. Spirit says that it. No worries, Spirit of Atlantis. No worries. Jenny T says, "Thank you." You're welcome. All right, guys. Well, I love you. See you tomorrow much earlier, okay? Not this late tomorrow, guys. All right?